Hello students, in today's class we will see Paradise Lost Book 1. So the fall of Satan. So first prologue we have already completed, we have finished. And at once as for an angel's skin, he views the dismal situation, waste and wild. A dungeon, horrible on all sides round as one great furnace flamed. It from whose flames no light, but rather darkness visible, served only to discover sights of woe, regions of sorrow, doleful shades, where peace and rest can never dwell. See, at once as for angels ken. The meaning of the word ken here is range. So as far as angels range concerned, or angels powers they possess, they are limitless. Powers possessed by angels before the fall is limitless. And Satan views at once as for angels ken, angels powers. Satan views, he refers to Satan. Satan views the dismal situation. Dismal is this gloomy, dark situation as waste and wild. So Satan views this dismal, gloomy situation, waste and wild, and a dungeon horrible on all sides. It is a dungeon, the hell, no, it is compared to a dungeon which is horrible to see on all sides round as one great furnace flamed. Great furnace is no high temperature, heating, still flamed. It from those flames, it is still from those flames, it is burning. Okay, this horrible dungeon is burning. Still from those flames no light, but rather darkness visible. This is here is a reference to Book of Job, chapter 10, verses 20 to 22. It is King James version. The lines are like this, light is as darkness. So that is a reference here. No light, but rather darkness visible. So light is as darkness. So no light, but rather darkness visible, served only to discover sights of woe. So the light served only to discover the sights of woe, regions of sorrow and doleful shades, doleful, sad, woeful shades, where peace and rest can never dwell. So this is, Dante's, here comes the reference of Dante's, reference to Dante's Inferno. So all hope abandon it who enter in. So these are the lines of Dante. All hope abandon, ye who enter in. That is condemned to suffer, doomed to suffer. Those who enter hell, they are condemned to suffer. They are doomed to suffer. It's an eternal punishment. So here, the regions of sorrow or doleful shades, it is woeful shades, where peace and rest can never dwell, can never come out, or they can never escape. Dwell, hope never comes. So actually this line, hope never comes up. This line echoes Dante's words. All hope abandon, he who enter in. That comes to all, but torture without end. Still urges and a fiery deluge fed. Fiery deluge is flood. It's a fiery flood. Flood sometimes, sent by God to destroy world with ever-burning sulfur unconsumed. So even if you try to put out the fire, it can't be. So trying to put off, it is beyond here. If you cannot do it. Such place eternal justice has prepared for those rebellious. Here their prison ordained. So here for those rebellious angels, God has prepared such a place for their punishment, for their prison ordained, for their prison created. So here their prison is created or made. So Satan was expelled from heaven for his pride, with all the multitude of rebel angels, with whose help he expected to rise himself to the position of God. So Satan challenged the God and started an unholy war in heaven, which led to his defeat. So God threw Satan down from heaven with head downward, and Satan fell in a flaming track into the fathomless abyss of hell, never again to rise to heaven. So Satan was to dwell there forever, and he was bound in unbreakable chains, and also he was tormented by fire. So in utter darkness, and their position set as far removed from God and light of heaven as from the center thrice to the utmost pole. Oh, how unlike the place from whence they fell! There the companions of his fall, overwhelmed with floods and whirlwinds of tempestuous fire. He soon discerns, and weltering by his side, one next himself in power and next in crime, that is Beelzebub. So in utter darkness and their position set, as from the center to the utmost pole. So this is this speaks about the scientific inventions during Milton's time. That is the Ptolemaic model, Earth at center, light, etc. So Satan lies stunned beside his second in command Beelzebub in a lake of fire. So that gives off darkness instead of light. So Satan and his dreadful companions, they continued falling for 9 days and nights, as may be reckoned in the continuing of man. And now they lay, that is Satan and his companions, they lay rolling in the lake of fire in hell. Though immortal, they lay quite stunned in that lake of fire. But Satan actually, he deserves to get some greater punishment. And he says that's an eternal agony inflicted on him in hell. So Satan, he casts his sorrowful eyes around, and he could witness only misery and woe. So when he cast his sorrowful eyes around, he could see only misery and woe, which is mingled with pride and undying hate. He had undying hate in his eyes. So as far as an angel's eye can see, he could see only the dreary sight, a wild and desolate region. On one next himself in power and next in crime, long after known in Palestine and named Beelzebub, to whom the arch enemy and thence in heaven called Satan, with bold words breaking the silence, thus began. So it is a place of unending torment, a river of fire kept alive by an inexhaustible supply of sulfur. That is, never-ending torture. So God, who is the fountainhead of justice, had prepared such a place for the rebellious angels. He had fixed their position in this perpetual gloom, and God decided that they must suffer there forever. So they were angels, Satan and the rebellious angels, they were as far removed from God and heaven as thrice the distance between the earth and the sun, or the earth and the sky. Okay, so this place is different from heaven, from which they had fallen. So Satan, he soon discovers his companions who have fallen with him. First, he could see one who is next in power and one who is also next in crime, long after, who is known in Palestine as Beelzebub. So he could recognize the fallen angel, the first angel. He could discover his companion, that is Beelzebub. So they all rebellious angels, they confounded in the flood and tempest of fire. Satan discovers one rolling by his side, and he was next to Satan in power and also in crime. And that is, he was known by the name Beelzebub in Palestine. So to him the principal enemy, henceforth called Satan in heaven, speaks in his bold words, breaking the silence of hell. So Satan started to speak to Beelzebub, breaking the silence, the horrid silence of hell. Okay, breaking the silence of hell, the horrid is the deadly silence of hell. Satan started to speak. So this is actually the conversation between Satan and Beelzebub. So here see, this is how the previous stanza ends. Breaking, and thence in heaven called Satan with bold words, breaking the horrid silence thus began. So Satan started to speak. Conversation between Satan and Beelzebub. If thou beest he, but who, oh, how fallen, how changed from him, who in the happy realms of light, clothed with transient brightness, didn't outshine. So now, he was shocked to see, Satan was shocked to see Beelzebub, and he says, I doubt whether you are the same Beelzebub, if thou beest he. I doubt, Satan says, I doubt whether you are the same Beelzebub, my most powerful comrade, my most friend. Oh, how fallen, how changed, how beaten and overthrown you look, how fallen from your glory, who once eclipsed multitudes of angels wrapped in brightness in heaven. That blessed region on light. So Satan says you had once eclipsed multitudes of angels wrapped in brightness in heaven. Now you are in utter darkness. And he says, Satan says, whether it is you, Beelzebub, who had close association with me, who had equal power, we both, that is Satan and Beelzebub, had united thoughts and counsels. They had equal hope and hazard in the glorious enterprise. This glorious enterprise refers to the war that they waged against God. So that is the glorious enterprise, the war which they planned, which they had against God. So they both had same motives. Since they had same motives, they joined hands to defeat or to plot against God. It is, understand, so united thoughts and counsels, equal hope and hazard in the glorious enterprise. Joined with me once. So since we both had same motives, we joined. So you joined with me once. Since you joined with me, now misery has also joined both of us. So now misery has joined in equal ruin, in what pit thou seest. So now misery has joined both of us in same situation. Both of us are in same situation, into what pit thou seest, from what height fallen, so much the stronger proved he with his thunder, until then who knew the force of whose dire arms. Satan here says, if Satan had known the consequences before, he could have not done this. So he says, from what height we have fallen. From what height refers to the fall from heaven to hell. From what height we have fallen, so much the stronger proved. So the stronger refers to God. God has proved his power. He has proved his thunder. He with his thunder is a position. So using his position, he has expelled, he has thrown us from heaven. Till then who knew the force of whose dire arms? Until then we do not know the power of God. But now we knew his power. We knew God's strength. So now we knew. Until then who knew the force of dire arms? That is, this refers to God. The force of dire arms refers to God. Yet not for those. So remaining, we'll see next class.